Jumbo, get comfortable. Today, we're going to talk about rejection. There's so many types of rejection, but for me, I'm going to talk about job rejection because that is something that I have experienced this year. So, what happened? Okay, from 2016, I went back to school after 18-year gap. I got my degree in major human resource management. From there, I got my MBA. In between, I got certification from there. And finally, after a lot of rejection from school, I finally was able to not do a PhD as I wanted, but get into doctorate school. And I just today submitted my final assignment for year one, and I'm awaiting for the defense date. So that tells you I am about to become a doctorate candidate. Since my doctorate will focus more on job seeking, I figured out today let's talk about what rejection has taught me, because most of us will have to apply between 21 and 80 jobs before they actually get the job they want. And by the time you're saying we're getting the job you want, we need to get data whether that is actually the job, or at the 80th time you just got tired and decided I will go for anything because it is about survival. Anyway, this year I knew there is no way if any employer sees my resume, they're going to reject me. After all, my ATS resume gets over 300 keywords. Literally, I had to sit down, work on it, ensure it can be picked up by any system, whatever. My creative CV, the one which I sent an email, it is so sleek. So I knew I'll get into interviews, and then it started happening. I started getting rejections even before I was invited for interview. I was like, okay, no problem, blah, 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 blah. Then I started getting invited for interviews, and I still got rejection. The unofficial feedback from one or two of those interviews was that I am overqualified for the role that I'm applying. I don't know what that means. The other one was I am overconfident. Okay, maybe I might have confused being bold and being confident. And the third one, which I kind of found an insult, because I know I shouldn't say this, one of the hiring manager actually told somebody who they told me that I thought I was interviewing for their job. So maybe, like I said, overconfident, what I thought was bold was not. But for me, this feedback is good because it helps me figure out that I need to go and work on myself, because like somebody always stated, and I always say this in a lot of my speech, could be the smartest person in the room, but if you're not able to express yourself, it's of no use because you get passed on for opportunities. So that could be happening. But during this time, this is the most, I know, I wrote it in a post in Facebook, so please let me refer to my post on the lessons that I learned. So the first one I learned is that when it comes to a job interview, it is never about your education background. I can state for a fact that an interview I was the most qualified, and somebody with a diploma got the job. Does that mean that my skills and capabilities are useless? No. It is always great to have the papers, because I remember 2016, 2015, I entered a class as a result of a 2015 interview that I was rejected, because at that particular time, it was between me and another candidate who had a degree. So because I didn't have a degree course, they were like, the employers like, it was nice knowing you, but I'm going with this one with the degree. So education is okay, but as you enter this market, I need you to be aware that it is never about your education system. Next, It is very, very important to network. Why? Because through network, you're going to meet something known as a job sponsor. Now, a job sponsor is very, very key because this is the person who is going to talk about your skills. They're going to talk about your capabilities. And if you have a job sponsor, it elevates your path because you don't know what your current manager is saying about you when their recruiter calls them and they ask for a reference. You don't know what your previous manager is saying about you. So it's always great to network because not only do they open opportunities, you can get that job sponsor who clearly work with you and can be able to validate without biasness on your key skills. Okay, now, number 3, you need to diversify your portfolio. It's not enough about getting the regular education system. Now, more than ever, we are seeing that professional qualifications are becoming a key. Which body are you attached to? You see people are putting their names, PMP, whatever and whatever. Why? Because employers know that took your time to do this course, and by doing this course, you understand the current market requirement, the future market requirement, because you have to keep this certification active. But most importantly, you are anticipating any current creativity and change that may occur in your role. So you help improve it. So don't be those people like, I have a PhD, I have a doctorate, or I have a higher diploma, so I don't need certification. No, I know most of these things cost money, but if you want to remain in employment, you have to attach yourself through that. Also, most importantly, by creating these by diversifying your portfolio, you're able to keep up with ever-changing technology like AI. Also, you're able to understand how will my role change? Am I going to be relevant in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years? Okay, or I'm going to be retired, like what happened to the Google professionals by technology. So diversify your whatever. Number 4, I just touched on it, you need to understand how AI technology is changing your roles. I'm going to give you an example. Having a conversation with my colleagues just last week before we started the Eid holiday, and I was telling them about because as we're more operational, and I was like, soon the organization is going to realize the importance of being strategic, and they're like, no, it's expensive, it's going to cost a lot of money, so they would rather invest in humanizing than invest in technology. But then I had to remind them, we have our competitor who did the exact same thing what we're doing, but they did not resolve it operationally, they resolved it strategically. So what happens if the hiring manager decides to bring that person from our competitor, but offering them something that is greater than they are offering 10 people in an organization? Because this one person coming in an organization is going to render a team redundant. Now you understand? Like one person can clear an entire department. So they will give him the best package, the best everything. He comes, he works. But by giving him all this, he's doing work that was being done and paid to 10, 15, 20 people. And that's how you need to start understanding AI, humanization. They're going to merge, and it's going to be strategical. Whether much we agree or disagree on this, it's going to create opportunities, but it's only going to create opportunities to those people who have prepared themselves. And finally, but not the least, number 5, you need to think about entrepreneurship. You know, my previous video said most of us are here, they're going to be employees, we are never going to start our own things. But there are two ways of being an entrepreneurship. You start your own thing while you're still working, run it yourself, or like I said, some of us are not. So what do? We start our own thing, get that business draft and everything, but go to the market and get people who can help us make it a dream. So you have to realize that it is time to branch out and become an entrepreneur. Let me know if you have any other tips that you have learned from job rejection, because remember, you might end up getting the average 80 application to get that one job, which means you might have to receive 79 rejection. Have a lovely Friday and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.